Let's bring in National Organizing Secretary of Afenifere, Otumba Kole Omololu. Thank you for joining us on the program this hour.
Everybody all over the world watching TVC Continental.
Well, thank you for joining us. Otumba, you read the president's second today. He said, quote, "Our economy reforms are working and that Nigeria is now better positioned for growth." From where you sit, do you share this optimism, or like some say, it's more rhetoric than reality?
Afenifere, let me tell you point blank. I, as an individual, I am an unrepentant believer in the renewed hope. I believe that Nigeria has sunk nearly beyond the irredeemable. And for a strong man to come on board and started salvaging it with so much difficulty, it is not a means at all. I believe it's like a collapsed building and the foundation is being laid again. I believe a lot of people living in that collapsed building, they will be hiding under the shelter. Their clothes, their dwellings scattered everywhere, waiting for the buildings to be rebuilt. During that gestation period, a lot of suffering, a lot will be happening to individuals. I think that's what Nigeria is going through. We all witnessed what has been happening to this country. Let us say since 1980 or so. Sometimes we make some progress and then we go back again. But this time around, I believe strongly that this president has a purpose and has a name with destiny to do something for Nigeria, for himself and his family. He's there for a legacy. He's not there to play politics. He's not there to do otherwise, and to leave a name for himself forever and ever.
I hear you.
Nigeria must be rescued.
I hear you, Otumba. There is the ideology of things, but there's also the reality of things as Nigerians experience it. The president, for instance, earlier today described the removal of fuel subsidy and FX unification as bold and necessary. With the privilege of hindsight, would you say the pain Nigerians have endured over the past 2 years was justified by the amount of progress we've made?
I will cite two examples for you. Germany and China. Germany, after the Second World War, everything collapsed. But a Marshall Plan was drawn. Now, Germany is the economic power of Western Europe. Look at China. The same thing. A strong leader came on board. China was the poverty capital of the world before. Now they are edging to be the world economic power. In the name of good things, in the name of our conscience. 2 years? 2 years of governance? I mean, let us think, every one of us, we're into this thing together because we have never suffered before. That is the reason why we are lamenting. And I am not saying things are not hard, I am not saying that at all. But again, things, a surgical operation has to be done to remove the cancer that is killing Nigeria.
Yes.
And this is
This is the kind of narrative we had in the first year of this administration. For many Nigerians, they will think that 2 years into the Tinubu administration, we should not only preach the prospect and the renewed hope, we should start feeling it. So the president mentioned inflation easing and the food prices like rice are declining. The last time we spoke, you talked about your connection to the grassroots. Is that a reality Nigerians, particularly at the grassroots, are experiencing? What's the picture from your interactions with ordinary citizens where this is concerned? Well, it looks like we may have lost the organizing secretary of Afenifere for a bit. We're going to keep trying to reconnect with him as we draw a line between the prospect of renewed hope and also the reality on ground. Okay, I understand he's back now. I was asking about what you have seen on the ground, especially from Nigerians at the grassroots. Do you think the reality of these Nigerians mirror the reduction in inflation that Mr. President was talking about?
I am a member of the grassroots. I am suffering it as well. It's undergoing the suffering. I am not denying that at all. People are crying. As at yesterday, as of Tuesday, we had a very meeting. All the journalists, all they were telling me is that we are the heir to the people. People are not smiling at all. Definitely, that is the truth. If I mean, we're at war. War is going on. Old men are going to suffer. Little kids are going to suffer. But I can assure you, I can see that things will be better. It might not be immediate. When this government first came in, I said it's going to take about 8 years. I said it. I'm not an economist, but what I have seen that has gone past in this country, things has been so destroyed. Food were not coming in because of war in the north. Everything was so expensive. So I am not denying the fact that the common people are suffering. And again, it's a plea to the government. Now, let us do something about food subsidy. There should be subsidy in food. Yoruba says, once the stomach infrastructure is okay, the other problems are minor. I begged the government to look at the area of food and probably transportation. When common people see these two things, they will not complain much. That should be the priority now. Go about your gigantic projects, but subsidize food. It is done everywhere in the world. America subsidized farmers. United Kingdom subsidized farmers. Because they know that is the essence of living. Food cannot be expensive. And you expect public not to shout. I will employ the third year of this government to concentrate on those areas that affects the common people, that affects them so badly. I am a witness to that, and I am not denying it.
What
are you there, Nifemi?
Absolutely, I am, and I like that you're able to break it down and also speak truth to power and identify with the reality out there. Because in the past few days, I've also been having conversations with appointed individuals in this administration. And one of the things I've attempted to do is to help them see where the shoe pinches for the average Nigerian. So earlier on today, we had Mr. President touting over 6 trillion naira in increased revenue to states last year. And there are conversations as to whether this fiscal expansion has really translated into real development, at least some relief at the subnational level, especially in the Southwest. I've spoken with quite a number of governors. I think it was the Zamfara state governor who mentioned that even though the federal allocation has increased, it has also not necessarily increased in value because of the reality of inflation. Mr. President has also been praised for increasing Nigeria's external reserves and eliminating ways and means financing. But critics argue whether or not the gains have reached the average Nigeria. How precisely does Afenifere, view this disconnect between macroeconomic numbers and household realities? But much more importantly, do you think that they get the message? Do you think that leadership actually understands what's going on in this regard?
Thank you, Nifemi. We have 3 layers of government in this country: the federal government, the state government, and the local government. And like the president has said, after the removal of oil subsidy, trillions of naira are going into the states. Trillions. That is what you expect a leader to do, the federal government. Let us come to our governors. This is the question that should be addressed to our governors. How is it this windfall, how is it affecting the ordinary citizen? Mozibiole Abuja. What our state government doing? We are talking of full subsidy now. Must it be the federal government? Does the federal government own lands? It is the state government that owns lands and local government. Let us tell the truth to ourselves. People want to see all this allocation to the state government. It's not only the civil servants that are in the states. We know all of them are getting their salary as I went through now. What about my mother? What about my uncle in the village? They need to feel all these things. Why are we not going into massive agriculture subsidized by the states? Must we be relying on Bola Tinubu all the time to do this? Why are we having governors and local governments? These are the things we should be telling ourselves. And we should split all this blame. To me, the president is showing leadership. He could have well not distribute all the money and put it into an escrow account or something, but he's distributing it to the states. We want to see it. We want to see it in the states. Open up agricultural farms. Lands are in abundance. In every homes. In the villages, you have a lot of people building just 2-bedroom on 1 acre of land. The rest is land fallow. Engage even in your compound alone. The other time I came to your program, I said I hardly buy yam anymore because I plant yam in my backyard, in my village. I even take some abroad to my children.
Yeah, well, you are lucky.
Why is the state government?
You are lucky to have a land in your village. Not many people have lands in their village, especially those of us in Lagos. You hardly even find the fine earth in your compound because of how crowded, these houses are these days.
But I live in Lagos. Yes. There are ways, planting, mechanized planting, cement bags, and so on. Put it at your backyard, even on a cement. Plant things. I do all this in my backyard here. I have a backyard here. It's not as crowded. I planted more than 100 yams, tubers of yam, in my backyard in Lagos here. Let us be practical with ourselves. Everything is government, government, government. We are not ready. We are blaming government. It being power, yes. It being power cool. We have to do our own beats. We have to do our own beat. If you go and buy yam, now, the head, plant it in a, put soil in a cement bag and plant it there. The thing will grow. I've done it in my backyard.
All right.
I have a friend who lives in America who come here to harvest yam and sell it in Lagos here. All these things are easy. They are simple. You want to live in the city and don't do anything and be blaming government. Let us tell the truth to ourselves.
I hear you, Otuba. Perhaps the next time you come, we'll do a practical video so we can teach our viewers how to how to plant yams. But I'd like us to turn our attention to the issue of insecurity. The Renewed Hope agenda pledged to... Oh, Otuba, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you a bit now, yeah?
Okay. I want us to turn our attention to the issue of insecurity. Mr. President's Renewed Hope agenda pledged to improve national security, but we've seen some widespread challenges, especially in the north, in the recent year. Is the federal government, in your opinion, doing enough to secure Nigeria, especially from what we're hearing from the northeast? You know, Boko Haram now gaining some territories, you know, in Borno State. You followed closely the challenge in the Middle Belt in states like Plateau and Benue, where people cannot even stay in their villages or go to farms anymore.
Thank you. You see, until we believe that God exists in this country, why some people, there was an expose by a state governor telling us that there is a collusion within the security service, within the political arm, and some individual colluding with terrorists. It was a governor that said this. And then did you realize and know that in Saudi Arabia, a wife and a mother of a terrorist was arrested? How did they get the passport, a legitimate passport? How did they get NI? I mean, their NI, what do you call it? How did they get it if there's no collusion somewhere? I mean, there's a big problem in this country. That's insincerity, that's evil. A lot of evil. The president must go to the bottom of this thing. There was an exposure the other time on television, I think it's 2021, by a retired military officer, that some people were caught sponsoring terrorism. Where are they? Let us go to the bottom and fish out all this evil. Let Nigeria have peace. Why so a lot of leaders are planning for the greatness of Nigeria as the black, as the largest black nation on earth, the hope of the black people on earth. Some people are planning for its disintegration because of personal gain.
It is why we have elected leadership. I remember Mr. President saying that he asked for this job, he understood the challenges, and he's ready to take it on. But I also know that Afenifere in the time past had long advocated for state police. With rising insecurity and calls for decentralized policing, why do you think this reform appears to still be elusive 2 years into this administration? Do you suspect that some political interests are standing in the way?
Where I suspect is a strategy. I suspect it's a strategy. The president knows whom he is dealing with. He knows the evil that surrounds us in this country. I believe he's taking it easy until he gets there. But there are some areas that has been widely accepted in which we believe that the president should implement it now, which is the area of state police. Nearly every state now, even those who were against it before, they now see the importance that let local people be the police of their own area. I think the president should have that as a priority before the end of this year. Grant us local policing. It has been done in this country before. It is not a novel idea. It's not new. It's not new. Even there was a local government police. We all grew up to know all these things. So why the delay? We tried in the Southwest to have our own policing system through the Amateco. The federal government should understand what we are doing. They should be equipped. They should be given the proper ammunition to fight terrorism. Not for them to be coming into church in our and be slaughtering innocent human beings. Not for them to be getting to Akure North and be killing innocent human beings in their villages, in their homes. Because the Amateku are not properly armed. They are only armed with shakabula. These are the kind of things the federal government should do. Now, we are talking of our bushes now. The federal government has come about with what is called forest guard. We should know forest guard is not new. Forest guard, Obafemi Awolowo instituted it in Western Nigeria. Now, because the terrorists are using the bush to torment us, let the states have the power to introduce forest guard. Forest guard should not be anything with the federal government. Does federal government have land in this? They don't have land. You don't have an inch of land. Only Abuja and Capital Territory, they have lands. So why will it be a federal government agency? Equip the state, give them the money. Let them set up forest guards. Let's go into the bush, train people, and flush out evil.
All right.
Flush them out. Their father, their mother, their children, get rid of them in our bush. We are predominantly farmers. Why would there not be scarcity of food? When terrorists are laying ambush in the bush to kill our children, to kill our wives, to maim our wife, to do all sorts of things, all sorts of evil. Give us the ammunition to get rid of them. This forest guard is a good idea, but let the state handle it. If the federal government is handling it, it is unitarianism. It's anti-federalism. It is not good for us. Give the states the power, the empowerment to do it.
All right.
That is the forest guard system.
We're counting on that, especially now that some governors are saying, in fact, majority of the governors have given a nod towards state police. I remember speaking with the Nasarawa State governor the other day, and they mentioned that with the increased allocation from federal government and increased internally generated revenue, they are also very ready to sponsor state police. But let's talk about some geopolitics now under this administration. As National Organizing Secretary of Afenifere, how do you assess Yoruba representation in this administration? Some say that the Southwest has not only been adequately rewarded, that it's been over-rewarded for backing Tinubu in 2023. Some voices from the North recently even protested that perhaps they are being sidelined under this administration. How does Afenifere react to this?
I will not read the statistics. All these things are just blackmailing. What is the proportion of Yoruba people in this government? Tell me. What is the proportion? Lately, the new appointment that has just been made were predominantly not. Even the senator that was criticizing the president came about to say, oh, thank you, Mr. President. Look at all the major appointments. They are spread all over. I don't know. Which, just because those who are well exposed, maybe like the Minister of Finance doing a marvelous job, the Central Bank doing, that is why you hear that. And look at this young man in the Ministry of Interior performing wonders there. Those are the three areas. And because you are hearing of them, because they are performing very well, that is why they deliver Yoruba in everywhere. Everybody are enjoying in this government. That is my belief.
All right.
Afenifere does not have a single candidate or a single appointee in the government. So that is it. But again, not to blackmail the president that Yoruba are enjoying. No, I don't believe in it. The statistics prove it that everybody is fully represented.
We had special advisor to the president, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, the other day, and he mentioned that the presidency is looking into these allegations and perhaps coming up with a computation of the appointments thus far under this administration. I haven't done the maths myself, but I think that they have the appointments. They are probably in the best place to put out the figures. Let's take a short break of action so that I can. Okay, I was asking what you make of Mr. President's performance vis-a-vis the conversation of whether or not he's lived up to the legacy of progressive Yoruba leaders like Awolowo and Abiola.
Thank you, Nifemi. Yes, I think we have gone through this. We have said it that 2 years in an administration that took over a broken house is something that is a Herculean task. And we advise that whatever the president is doing is supposed to be a legacy. He should not be too political. Go and look for the best in the society. Go to PDP, go to PRP, go to SDP, pick the best to come and serve the country. Listen, Mr. President, you are not young. Your children, like Obafemi Awolowo, anywhere you hear Obafemi Awolowo today, when you see Auntie Tokumbo, you look at the aura, you look at the respect, you look at the love. That is the second Oduduwa in Yoruba land because of before the father has done. And this is what I will plead to Mr. President. What his children will live on, his grandchildren will live on, his legacy. Party politics, put it aside. Go and bring the likes of Wike that you brought from PDP. Go to other parties and go and bring them. Let them come and help your administration. Look for the best in the north. Go to the east. Go and bring beautiful brains, like Professor the guy who was the deputy director of the CBN before. One brilliant professor like that. Forget whether they are not in your party. They will help this country. We have them all across this country.
All right.
This is my plea to Mr. President. We want to rescue Nigeria. He is not taking over any legacy. He's not taking over any good thing in Nigeria. He's taking over a very bad, destroy Nigeria. He's trying to rebuild Nigeria. And if you are doing that, go and look for workers to help you. And then if you live there, Mr. President, your name is going to be the one they will be mentioning.
All right.
So don't look inward alone again towards the APC that you belong to. Go to everywhere. Look for them. Look at people with conscience. People that have mercy. People that will take the public and say, I should have mercy on them. Not merchants in government. Not merchants in government. You want people with conscience. You want people who want to sacrifice their time, their life for the country, to be the great nation that is supposed to be.
Indeed.
The greatest black nation on earth. The hope of all the black people in the world. this is the time for President Tinubu to do it. If he doesn't do it, I'm not sure any other person, I pray that any other person will come and do it.
Otuba, I guess the person you mentioned earlier was is Kingsley Moghalu, right?
Kingsley.
All right, beautiful.
Kingsley Moghalu.
Yes.
Kingsley Moghalu, I repeat his name again, one of the brightest minds.
All right.
I've never met him, but I've read him so much. Go and bring such people.
Let us quickly turn our attention to what you have called an alleged conspiracy against the Tinubu government. In a recent statement, you spoke about you were reacting to a particular development, what Afenifere described as an alleged plot to sabotage President Tinubu's administration by branding it a Yoruba government. Can you elaborate on the nature of this threat? How real or organized you believe this conspiracy is?
Thank you. How can anybody in his or her rightful sense brand a government a Yoruba government just because a Yoruba man is leading the government? And then all those that you believe that are enhancing his government, they are stabilizing his government, you believe you should deal with them. To me, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that is the anchor of democracy. So far, so good, they have been able to stand by this government. No threat of impeachment. Every bill is being passed. There is so much cooperation. This is what Nigeria wants. At the end of the day, you have some people trying to undermine, bringing lots of frivolities, bringing lots of blackmail to derail the government. It's not fair. Afenifere will not stand by and be looking at all this thing. You see, we are not an information channel of the government. For us, we are an objective observer, not because it's a Yoruba man. Because we want the best for Nigeria. Nigeria has gone through turmoil, has gone through torture. We have a leader now that we should all support. Why should you be conspiring together and be labeling it a Yoruba government? And it must be destroyed.
But Otuba,
did we do that to General Buhari?
In that press release, you compared the lack of ethnic pushback during President Buhari's 8-year tenure with the current ethnic labeling of Tinubu's government. Why do you think this administration is facing this kind of identity-based scrutiny now?
It is not. It is a blackmail. It is a blackmail by enemies of Nigeria, not just enemies of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed and Tinubu. Enemies of Nigeria who believes they must be in charge of Nigeria at all costs and bring us down and draw us down and take us to dark ages. Those are the enemies. Labeling a government that is headed by a Yoruba man a Yoruba government. How can he be a Yoruba government? Are we the only one that voted for him? Everybody voted for him and he became president. What on earth? And somebody believe he or she can be used, that she can be used to push this idea?
All right.
The God of Nigeria will not allow it.
You have said that
Nigeria to be the largest and the most prosperous nation on earth will not allow it.
You said President Tinubu's government is not a Yoruba government, but a Nigerian government.
Yes.
You know, critics who have argued that the current administration is heavily skewed in favor of the Southwest, but we discussed that earlier. And the presidency is also saying they are investigating this. But is Afenifere concerned that defending Mr. President against such attacks might itself deepen ethnic polarization or fuel?
We are not defending Mr. President. We are not defending anybody.
Just a minute.
Saying,
yes, but they are saying that the stance the organization is taking right now might fuel a perception of ethnic loyalty over national objectivity. How do you respond to that?
What is national objectivity when you are trying to drill a government? Afenifere stand for Nigeria, even though we are Yoruba, and we have been doing it. When Shugaba was being deported out of Nigeria, Shugaba was in the NPN. He was not a member of UPN. It was Yoruba people that went to fight for him. The people of the South, they were following the Northern People's Congress and Nnamdi Azikiwe, some of them. It was Baba Awolowo that went there to liberate them. Joseph Taka of Middle Belt was on salary, and so on and so forth. They are not Yoruba. That is what we are made of. If we see something good, we say it. This is not about defending anybody. We are not defending anybody. We are just being objective. We have been the only nation in this country that has never asked for the dissolution of this country. We have never. We never say Araba. We never wage war. We never cause civil war. We want the greatness of Nigeria. That is who we are. That is the kind of creation the God has created.
Did you
Tinubu or somebody else,
Otuba,
we say the truth.
You said Yorubas have never fought for the independence of the nation. Did you omit the call for Oduduwa Republic? There was this guy who, can you remember, who was arrested, and then I can't remember his name right now. From Oyo State. Okay.
We are talking officially, Nifemi. Anybody, every group, even during this period that I'm saying, a lot of people will say, no, I don't want to be part of Nigeria again. We are talking officially.
All right.
Though there are some people who wage war. They say they don't want to part. There are some people who say, Araba, we don't want to be part of Nigeria again. But we in Nigeria, Yoruba has always defending Nigeria, that Nigeria should be great. Nigeria should be great. Even though we want devolution of power. We want devolution of power to the region and to the states, so that Nigeria can attain its greatness in the world. That is who we are.
Some argue that Afenifere has become too politically aligned with the presidency. How do you maintain your role as a watchdog for Yoruba interests while also defending the president so passionately?
Well, we're also doing what?
While also defending the president so passionately.
We are not defending the president. We are being objective. We are saying sober reflection on what is happening in the country. It's not defending. It's not being defensive. Anything that is a policy that the federal government brought out now about forest guard, are we defending it? What we are saying is that this policy, this agency is supposed to be a state agency. It's a state agency. We are just being matured. It's not about defending any government. If anything good is doing it, we will say it. And if there's something we believe it is not right, we talk about how people are suffering. No government personnel will come out to say people are suffering. They will not say it. But we are saying it, that there is a lot of suffering in the land, and we plead for the federal government and the state and local government to please do something about it. Is that a defense?
Correct me if I'm wrong. That press statement you released in May, you firmly stated that Tinubu shall serve his full 8-year term. Was that a political forecast or a warning to those planning to challenge his re-election based on ethnic sentiments?
What I said there was that he has a mandate to be in power for 4 years, and with the wish of Nigerians, another 4 years. The wish of Nigeria. Am I God? Although I am his unrepentant supporter, I want him to spend 8 years there. Me, Kole Omololu, I want him to spend 8 years there. But it's up to Nigeria to say yes, he must spend 8 years. That is what I mean in that statement.
Let's begin to wrap this up. Otumba Omololu, finally 2 years down, and he has 2 more to go for the 4-year tenure he was elected for. if it will go 8 years, we have to win another election. But what must President Tinubu urgently correct or improve on, not only to be politically successful, but to achieve some level of national healing and a legacy of unity for Nigeria?
The primary cry of Afenifere is restructuring, political restructuring, fiscal restructuring, so summing up true federalism, devolve power to the states or region as it may be. That is what we are looking for. Now, as of Tuesday in Afenifere, a new leader, I call him leader, a man, in the person of the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Oba Olufalaye, as the Chairman of National Executive Council. A man who is any other name than being the president in this country. We believe such a man will come about, his experience, sell it to Mr. President. He's one of the brightest mind in the world. He has accepted to help us chair Afenifere, to help the leader to propel Yoruba and Afenifere forward. He will offer Mr. President his wealth of experience. Remember, the man was voted for overwhelmingly when he ran for election in this country by all the Yoruba people. They voted for him against General Obasanjo. They wanted him. During the national conference, they elected him as the leader. At Ile-Ife, during the time of Obashijuade, he was appointed the leader. So he's a natural leader in any form of shape. We are relying on him to help heal the wound in the land, bring him together all Afenifere, inclusive of Mr. President, who is a member of Afenifere too, and offer his brilliance in economics to Mr. President.
All right.
This is our gift to Nigeria. Oba Olufalaye, CFR GCON. This is our gift to Yoruba land. This is our gift to Nigeria. I believe Nigeria should make use of him now that Afenifere has offered him.
So is he automatically taking over from Baba?
God is the one that can decide that. Until Baba dies, when the leader dies, that is when there is a new leader.
All right.
When the leader dies, you don't bury a king alive. Nobody can become leader except the leader is dead. That is Afenifere tradition. That's our tradition. Olori Ebi system. Okay. So it's up to Obafalaye if Baba dies. We have many leaders who can take over from Baba. We have Senator Okoromo there. We have General Ani Akinade.
But as chairman, we have to go now, Otumba. But